What is going on, guys? We are back for another week of top 5. This week we'll be covering the flying typing. I know in the last video I said we were going right to the ground typing. I completely forgot about like 3 typings before we get to ground typing. So, but with that, we are gonna get into the flying typing. This is a very popular typing. I think in terms of actual Pokemon that have this typing, I think it's actually the second most Pokemon. So water typing's first in terms of the amount of Pokemon. Flying types on this list this week are actually pretty unique. Most lists we only include primary typings, but because there's only maybe like 2 or 3 primary typing flying types, this is the one exception to that week where we will be doing secondary typings. And basically from here, the same rules still apply. We're not going to be including legendaries because I do intend to do that later on. And yeah, so these lists are always, as always, 100% opinionated, meaning that, you know, it's not just based off of stats, it's not just based off of design, it's kind of a combination of the two, kind of where I rank them. But if you guys have a different list than me, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. Hit subscribe, like the video while you're down there, and let us hop right in to number 5. Alright, so coming in at number 5, we have Gliscor, the Scorpion Bat Vampire Pokemon. So this Pokemon is really unique. It kind of shares a typing with Landorus, which notoriously has an incredible typing, and it is honestly pretty dominant in competitive Pokemon. But Gliscor is sort of kind of the not legendary version of that, right? Poison Heal is its signature ability, letting it heal itself when it gets poisoned. So a lot of people will hold like a poison barb, or not poison barb, but a poison orb or a toxic orb, and you'll get poisoned, you'll start having reliable recovery, and then you can kind of do the most, right? So this Pokemon has 95 base attack, 125 defense, and 95 speed. So this thing can eat up a lot of hits, and is able to kind of dish out damage quickly too when it wants to. Now it is more supportive, but it does have that power behind it, and that's why it's such a good competitive Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, obviously it shares the type with Landorus, like I said. And for me, design-wise, I think this is such a cool design, right? You kind of get this, I want a toxic, like, kind of scorpion Pokemon. You get this kind of flying squirrel Pokemon. You get like a bat that's also a vampire, all in one. Like, I think design-wise, they really knocked this out of the park. For me, it had to be in the list. Super good competitively, great design. The only thing that I really don't like about it is that it can't actually fly. It just glides. Which, you know, that's just nitpicking really, but I've always really liked this Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that's sometimes hard to get in game, and so it's one of those Pokemon where you get to use it competitively, but you don't really get to play through it in a playthrough very often. And so for me, it made the list number 5, but let us move on to number 4. Alright guys, so at number 4 we have Charizard. We saw him last week on our fire type list. He is here again at number 4 on our flying type list. This one is going to be more of a focus on Mega Charizard Y instead of Mega Charizard X from the fire typing. Obviously, like we said in the last one, Charizard is one of the most iconic Pokemon. I'm actually pretty sure it was voted the most popular Pokemon from Generation 1, and I'm also pretty certain, as of the time of this recording, that it is also ranked the number 4 most popular Pokemon of all time. Like, this thing is, beyond shadow of a doubt, one of Pokemon's mascots, really, right? Obviously, competitively, Fire Flying has a lot of weaknesses to it, but it is also a pretty offensive typing in its own right. Charizard has a 109 special attack, 100 speed, and its mega form is even better, 159, 100. I mean, it's gonna blow you away if it gets a strong hit. And obviously just design wise for me, you know, it's kind of based off a dragon, right? Like it's kind of the first dragon that you kind of encounter in the game. You know, Gyarados, people think Gyarados is Aerodactyl. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, really the only one was Dragonite in Generation 1, but you know, that kind of triggers a lot of people. So what we're gonna do here is hop into number 3. Alright guys, so at number 3 we have Corviknight, the Raven Dark Black Knight combination. I think this is so good for the region that it's based in, right? Galar is such a medieval world that having a raven that like ravens kind of were like messenger birds for them, and then you have like the history of the Black Knight, and it kind of looks like that. It's just so good for the region that it's in. It's actually the first and only primary flying type on this list. It had to be here. It's basically just a better Skarmory, in my opinion. It has better stats. It has better moves, a better ability. Like it just hits everything that Skarmory was. It just took it and made it better. And honestly, design-wise, you can't really knock it, right? Like, it literally looks like it's out of a horror film, which is absolutely sick. But yeah, I mean, this has got like 100 HP, 105 defense, and 85 special defense. Like, you're not killing this bird very easily, and it's heavy enough that, like, with the new moves, like body press and all that stuff, like, that's a really powerful move that it can kind of fire back at you with. And that's excluding the fact that it's already a nice little, like, support setup Pokemon, right? So, for me, competitively, obviously, it's super dope. Design-wise, it's even better. And honestly, when I played through Galar, I mean, this was the first Pokemon that I scooped up. So, but with that, we're gonna get up out of number 3 and head into number 2. All right, so at number 2, we have Noctowl, one of the OG bird Pokemon. All you Gen 2 fans, this Pokemon to me, there's nothing really design-wise or stat-wise that really blow you away, right? It just looks like your traditional owl, you know, doesn't really have amazing stats. It's actually probably one of the weakest starter birds that are around. But for me, I just always loved owls, and so it always had a little bit of a special place. Obviously, watching the anime growing up, Ash catching a shiny Noctowl was like mind-blowing to everybody, I'm pretty sure. And obviously, you know, with the association of owls and wisdom, this thing is incredibly intelligent. It is able to use psychic moves, ghost moves. It kind of can do things that, you know, kind of give it off that mythology behind it, right? But yeah, I mean, this thing is nothing really crazy. It has decent HP at 100. Then it has kind of lackluster 86 special attack and 96 special defense, which is actually not bad. It's a pretty decent little special defensive wall, kind of in the lower tiers of competitive Pokemon anyways. And, you know, it has the ability to use Psychic type moves, so it kind of gets like Reflect, kind of help out its poor defense stat a little bit. You know, it has the ability Tinted Lens, which kind of gives it a little bit more accuracy, so it can do some work if it sets up, but it needs a lot of support to be able to do it. But this Pokemon for me, definitely on here for just my, like, love of owls, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely, like, Corviknight, there's no way that you can look at Corviknight and be like, that's not as good, but for me, it just has a special place in my heart, and nostalgia put it at number 2 for me. So, but with that, we're going to get into our number 1 slot here. Alright, so that was a really bad transition, but we are here at our number 1 slot, Salamence. Now, Salamence is what I think of when I think of a dragon. It is the definition of what I compare design-wise every other dragon type in Pokemon 2. Like, this reminds me of, like, Saphira from Aragon. Like, it is literally the dragon that I think of when I think of dragon-type Pokemon. And Salamence is just super dope, right? It's a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. You know, its abilities are just absolutely insane. So, it already has a pretty good defense stat, and then it gets Intimidate, which helps out, and it's such a versatile ability on its own. And then when you don't want to run that, you have Moxie, which means that it gets an attack boost every time it kills something. And you know this thing is taking lives, so this thing just has the ability to snowball into just an absolute unstoppable force. You put a Choice Scarf on that, and you just kill something real quick with like a Dragon Claw or something, and you don't really have too many things that resist Dragon Claw to be able to stop it from rolling, right? But, and then it gets even better after that, right? Like its Mega Evolution gets Aerialate, which makes flying type, or it makes normal type moves into stab flying type moves, and it turns from a 135 attack to a 145 attack, and a 110 special attack to a 120 special attack, and it goes from 100 speed to 120 speed. Like, it just has the ability to snowball in so many different ways into such a monster of a Pokemon. And honestly, like, this thing, hands down, favorite flying type. It's like a large gap, and then it's the rest for me, really. You know, it kind of has a cool little backstory with it too. You know, it has a Bagon and a Shelgon. It just wanted to fly so much, and then eventually it evolves, and just from sheer will and desire grew wings and flew, which a little bit out there, but you know what, we'll take it. It is honestly one of the dopest Pokemon in the game. But with that is our top 5 list this week. Next week we'll be covering we have Ghost and we have Grass coming up before we get to Ground. But yeah, no, I want to thank everyone again for watching. Click like if you liked the video, subscribe if you really liked it, and again, leave your top 5 list down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.